water supply, burned our crops, and delivered a plague unto our houses.
He did?
No, but are we just gonna wait around until he does?
I see! We tip something over!
Now what?
Man, I wish I worked for MrBeast. I could have made a video exposing him, saying how he's so mean. He used to make me get up early in the morning, show up to work, eat lunch in only a 30-minute window, and from there I'd be able to complain, get a billion views, get $1 billion. I mean, the only other CEO that you can make $1 million off of by complaining they're a terrible employer is Elon Musk. And, you know, Tesla's hiring bar is a little bit too high. I think for MrBeast, you just need to show up and have a camcorder. Now, if you're not aware, MrBeast is the most subscribed person on YouTube. I don't know if you know that. I don't know how you would end up on my video and some way, somehow would not know about MrBeast. That'd be a crazy thing right there. But the point is, MrBeast is a gigantic conglomerate, and he's basically a corporate entity. And I think that really shows in the past 2 weeks. If you are not aware, MrBeast had a close business partner who ended up coming out of the closet in more ways than one. In one way, he came out and said that he was a transgender individual. In another way, he had a skeleton come out of his closet, which was him talking to little boys online. And it seems to me like, unfortunately for MrBeast, his boy didn't really care about the corporate image. He didn't really think about scrubbing the past, and he basically let it all out there, and he essentially never really apologized or took the corporate route of being a public apologist or a public apology. So no real resolution came out of that. Now, the thing is, whenever something bad happens like this and it's very public, it ends up becoming a chink in the armor. It ends up becoming a weak spot that others can finesse, expose, and hurt even more. Now, MrBeast has been on YouTube for a while. I would think MrBeast knows this, but unfortunately, MrBeast is literally a corporate entity. He is someone who is backed by a corporation. He is someone who's advised by a corporation. He is someone who essentially is just corporate. He can't really go out there and tell everyone to shut up and mind their business, because he's got a lot of shareholders to essentially answer for and explain himself. Now, I think this really holds true because lately, in the past 2 weeks, any person who ever worked for MrBeast coming out, they're saying that he was a terrible person, that he lied in his videos, and in my opinion, they got a little bit too crazy with the acting. The most recent video I saw is some dude pretending to cry, and those crocodile tears made me cringe extremely hard.
The other thing I talked about was there was another writer there, older comic, black guy. He had a kid, and I got paid more than him, and I thought that was wild because he was older than me, had a child. We're doing the exact same job, and I'm some 20-year-old fuckhead white guy. Why am I getting paid more than him? I brought that up, and one of the things I didn't like about the way some of the B stuff shook out was. I feel really guilty about the way this shook out. Yeah, I was talking to this other writer, it's fucked up, that's how the pay is, and I want you to get paid more, because you deserve to get paid more. I don't have a kid. And he didn't want to rock the boat. He desperately didn't want to rock the boat. He's just, I like my job. I like, because when you grow up with, nothing, not to say that he did, but I know I did, you get a little something, you don't want to lose it. So he didn't want to rock the boat. But he said, hey man, if that's how you feel, if that's I trust you. He stood with me. He went to that meeting with me. And I said my piece, and he backed me up. I said, I need XYZ or I'm out of here. And they said, bet. And they gave me a severance check the next day. And they gave him a severance check the next day. And if I knew he was going to lose his job too, I wouldn't have done it.
You can act like a man! What's the matter with you?
And what he's saying might be true, the information he's explaining might be accurate, but the fact that he decided to go over the top and act like he was down bad to the point that he was shedding tears really makes me question his authenticity as well as integrity. But again, MrBeast is basically getting thrown into a hate loop, which is very hard to escape. Now, if you're not aware, sometimes things aren't that bad, but people on the internet pay attention to it, therefore they think it's bad. Like, let's just say, for example, the past 2 weeks, YouTube has boosted the MrBeast hate signal, right? You've heard more about MrBeast doing this terrible thing than you've heard about Benjamin Netanyahu doing some really bad things, because that's how the hate loop works. It doesn't really matter how bad something is, it's about how much people care about the bad thing that's been done. Now, for MrBeast, I'd say this is very similar to the Ellen situation. If you're not aware, in the past, Ellen DeGeneres basically got outed for being a big meanie and a Hollywood weirdo and someone who basically was just very mean to her interns, or someone who was too stringent. Honestly, it's not even that big of a deal, but people online made it a big deal, and to the point that she eventually just gave up and retired. Now, for MrBeast, he has some serious accusations. His boy was basically, talking to fans that were underage. He himself was basically being accused of someone who's fabricating competitions and different things, but honestly, that's not even that big of a deal. But people, again, are making it a big deal.
What would you say is the fakest video that you worked on while you were there?
Fakest video that I worked on while I was there. This is the extent of the fakeness that I was involved to. This is admitting to my complicity. I was a writer there, and we were working on a video, crushing my friend's car with a rock or meteor or something. It was a rock or a meteor in the title of it, I can't remember, but he wanted to do a prank where, unbeknownst to the person, he takes a rock, crushes their car, and they're supposed to think a rock came out of space.
We're gonna take a meteor and we're gonna put it on Weddle's car. We're gonna take another meteor and put it on Marcus's car. Both of them have no idea that we're doing this. Weddle and Marcus are probably shocked. They had no idea.
And so that was the one and only time I had to, my car? What?
Every war is started with a false flag operation. Look at history, read it, or you're doomed to repeat it.
But the thing is, to me, is that all of a sudden, all these people coming out saying they hate MrBeast, he's the worst thing there's ever been, he's a corporate sellout, he's corny, he's not funny, his competitions are fake, his videos are terrible. All of a sudden, people, everyone hate MrBeast all at the same time. It's crazy, because I never heard anyone say any of this earlier than this. All of a sudden, all these people coming out the woodwork like cockroaches when the lights are out. They all come crawling out looking for something to feast on. This is becoming a new algorithm of just talking smack about MrBeast to propose itself over and over. And I'm gonna be honest, I thought this was old news. I thought this was gonna last a week, be done. But because MrBeast is handling this so poorly, it's actually adding some kindling to the fire and adding some fuel to the hate train. Because one thing I thought MrBeast would do is just come out and make a video and debunk everything that this one employee guy said. By the way, this employee guy basically came out and said, I work for MrBeast, he was mean, and everyone was like, oh, I believe him. He said he worked for MrBeast. Obviously, he worked for MrBeast. Now, instead of MrBeast coming up with a video saying that what he's saying is misguided, what he's saying is not true, what he's saying is bending the truth, he went the corporate way. He listened to the lawyers, unfortunately, and he just dropped a regular old video, acted like nothing was going on. Bro ended up getting hit with 2 million dislikes, then argued and said, no, it's really only 5,000. All right, bro, it's all right. You don't have to cry about it. I know it sucks to get downvoted to oblivion, but things happen. And from this, it basically showed that MrBeast was dodging accountability, wasn't saying much of anything, and all these little nonsense who cares statements basically got bolstered, made it look like they were legitimate. And your boy Dogpack came back with another video, and he more than likely will drop yet another video. And it seems like MrBeast is in a situation where he is such a big entity that he will not even make a video on Twitter like Keemstar used to do, where he would just literally rant, ramble, and scream.
See, you're a gamer, all right? I'm also a gamer. And the thing is life, everything you do in life is a game. Whether a girl you're after, a job you're after, a brand deal you're after, everything. You go into the DMV, and when you're in line, you strategizing, okay, should I cut here? Should I do this? What'll get me in fastest? What'll get me out fastest? When you're driving in traffic, everything is a game. Everything is a game. And you have to do the calculations to try to beat the game and win the game. And at this game of life, I've beat the game. I beat the game. I used some money glitches, but I beat the game at life. You, Phil, you're still on mission 1.
And there's really no connection between the viewer base and what MrBeast's opinion is. Now, to be fair, I think MrBeast is someone who makes content for kids. It's not necessarily something that I really care about. Some videos are good, majority of them are just who cares. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like he's not doing something special by being the most subscribed individual on YouTube, as well as having an Espanol channel, a Russian channel, a Chinese channel, damn near an Arabic channel. Bro is a corporate entity on YouTube. He is essentially taking his first L on YouTube, and it's not that big of a deal. Honestly, if he's not dumb, he'll just come out and make a milquetoast not true video saying that these statements are not true and that everything that's being mentioned is not true at all. Make it 50 minutes long and put evidence in there, and no one will really watch it, but they'll take it and say at least he addressed it. But listen, at the end of the day, apparently everybody hates MrBeast, and it only took this recent hate train to have people come out the woodwork and all simultaneously feel the same way. It's absolutely amazing.
At the end of every single video, make sure you ask people to rate and subscribe to your content. It makes them feel like they're involved even though they're really not. And most importantly, make sure they comment on every single video. If you have to, disguise it. You know, call it something like the question of the day. And really make them think you're gonna really read it when you really don't have to. Ha ha ha!